Well, hello everyone. Welcome back. Today I am going to do a day 2 recap of my time at the ATD ICE conference. So if you didn't check, go check out yesterday's. Basically going over the different sessions that I had. Today was an awesome day. I attended 3 sessions. Each of them, lots of great information. Really happy with the presentations, how they gave the presentations, the content they gave. Definitely lots of good examples on how to give presentations, how to provide training. Couldn't be happier. Good day today. Excited to see what happens tomorrow. So, I'll keep you informed. First session today was Savvy Self-Promotion, how L&D can stand out without selling out. And this was by Ed.D from Edge of Work. And yeah, this is kind of an interesting topic, right? We typically want to be head down, but then, how do we stand out? How do we get other people to want to work with us and those kind of things? And I've been an advocate for my whole life on the idea of working out loud. And so I think that's a huge part of it, right? But, the folks that he's working with, right, developing leaders, developing people to the next level, is, teaching about self efficacy, and this is important for what we do, right? We need to be able to tell our stories. So, he covered just a lot of stuff. Why it's important to advocate for yourself, right? To be able to talk about your body of work, because it helps to introduce you and what you know to other people so you can help them better. If they don't know that you can help them, they won't seek you out. So you have to be able to go out and let people know that you can assist them, right? And for me, that's one of the things that gets me up in the morning is how can I help other people get to the next level? So that is, why it matters, right? Couple things that he touched on, right? Everybody's got a lot of stuff going on, that they're busy. Nobody's really paying attention, and so you have to figure out how to break through that particular noise. Interesting formula: what you do, how you do it, letting people know about it leads to your success. So. And he tied it back to the thought of, if a tree falls in the forest and nobody hears it, did it in fact fall? And we know it did, but nobody heard it, so are you really sure? Right? So the same thing is, you're doing all this work, but if nobody realizes you're doing this, does it really count? So probably the big concern is this idea of, talking about yourself, right? It's a little awkward, right? So also, do you have the time to do it? Some people believe that the work should speak for itself. Folks don't like to brag about themselves, and we're just not taught how to do it. But we gotta how to get past that, right? And so one of the reasons I go to conferences to learn things, right? If I went to the conference and all I did was keep that to myself, nobody else could benefit from that, right? So that's why I like to share. That's why I create these videos and blog posts and trip reports. And he talks about using those type of strategies, to kind of get people aware of what and how you can help others, right? So think about it differently. Instead of thinking about bragging on yourself, think about how you can help other people, right? How you can create more opportunities to help other people. How, everyone has talents. You're going to learn from other people, and in turn, they learn from you. And so how can others benefit from what you know? Went through a number of exercises, but he talked about how to kind of develop this skill. So the first thing is kind of taking an inventory of what your strengths are, what your story is, right? And then figuring out how to get that in front of people, right? So he made this analogy like the sports world. So athletes, they put together highlight reels, right? They talk, they show when they're on the field, how they're performing, how they're working out, all this information, right? They're out there sharing it so other people get to know them. Well, we can do the same thing, right? Basically putting together our own highlight reel and thinking about how we're contributing to our workforce, what strengths we bring to the table, deliverables, right? Projects that we worked on, tools that we've created, and getting that out there. And what has been the impact? What are the projects that we have? And it's just a matter of, as he said, shine a light on it. What are we great at? Where do we add value? Where are others coming to us, right, and asking for assistance, and that other people are relying on us, right? And looking at where we want to go in our future. Okay, what do we want to be known for? So, looking, just kind of analyzing what you're doing, the projects that you're working on, right? So some strategies are, kind of keeping a record of what you do, keeping a document and capturing those key projects, the specific things that you did to make them work. Quarterly, he recommends, summarizing your accomplishments. And then also after action reviews, right? These are ways that you can share lessons learned, things that you did, things that you can do better, what you're learning, all those kind of things. Then so that's identifying what you are doing, what you're bringing to the table. Now it goes into how do you share it, right? How do you make people aware of what you're doing? And this comes to this idea of working out loud, right? That you're building various resources and telling people, right? It could be simply on social media, you're working on this cool project, right? Otherwise, nobody really knows. And you can also bring attention to your organization by doing this, right? So I look at it, I'm on a learning journey, right? Part of what I do is share the things that I'm learning, and I hope that others come on this learning journey with me, right? And so I'm always talking about, different things that I know, different things that I'm learning at the moment, and if other people are interested, then I'll continue sharing with that, right? But others are also interested in those things, and you can kind of collaborate with them, that they can teach you, you can learn from them. So just kind of amplifying those and using like after action reviews to share those lessons learned. What else? Figuring out how your company's culture, how you can do that. I've been in some cultures that are open and you can share a lot. I've been in other cultures that's a little more restricted and it's harder to share. Amplify. So just getting out there and talking about it. And then how do you scale through others, right? That you need the support of others to do anything, right? It's kind of a collaboration where you're talking up somebody, people that that, hey, this is the person to go see for that, right? Ideally, they should be talking about you in a similar way on things that you are successful in, right? You're trying to create those conditions of know, like, and trust where people can come work with you, right? So you're looking for others, folks that can help amplify your work, create opportunities to connect, give you feedback, different things like that, right? So different people play different roles. And, we talked about where to find, these different places for support. And I'll probably cover that in a blog post. So, but, one of the things to look for is an accountability partner, right? Someone that you can share honestly with, back and forth, where they can help you, you can help them. So, awesome session. Glad I went. I know somebody who could definitely benefit from the lessons learned here, so I'm eager to sit down with that person and share. The second session was on microlearning, right? 20 ways to use microlearning and design tips for success by Carla Torgerson from Sweet Rush, right? So, folks are busy, right? And so one of the first things that we did was talk about the definition of microlearning. What is it? And really, it's focusing on single objectives for performance, improved performance. Ideally, it's generally digitized. Can use a variety of different technologies to do this, but they're short in length of time, and they can support the bigger learning function, right? She addressed 4 uses of microlearning, right? She, in her research, found out that really all the microlearning they were doing kind of went into 4 different buckets. One was preparation, right? The pre-work stuff. This is typically in support of something that's in longer form, and usually lasting only about 10 minutes, right? So pre-work or preparation. The next was follow-up. So after training was done, something that reinforced learning, kind of boosted the learning down the road. There's a good book called The 6 Disciplines to Breakthrough Learning, and one of the things they focus on is what is that communication piece weeks, months down the road to remind them of this training and that key aspect. So usually these are like 1 minute, 30 seconds, really short in time. The next one is standalone. So this would be something that maybe having a library where they have resources, short form learning, usually short in length, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, up to 8 minutes. And then finally, support. And this is kind of in the moment, right? That you're working on a problem, I need to solve it. Let me get to this resource. And so they should be very short. They're performance support. The example was customer service. You're on a call and they're asking you questions about, where you live and all this stuff. But in the meantime, they're looking up a solution, right, to get the right answer for you. Okay. So thinking about that, right, lots of opportunities where you can provide support. I know I get questions and I'll pop out a video and put it in the email and send it on. Those are those micro learning, right? And it could be in a lot of different forms. It could be text, it could be e-learning modules that you create, it could be video, infographics, and then, as they mentioned, emerging technologies like podcasting or VR or AR or something like that. So yeah, lots of good things out of that particular session. And then as far as design, you really, the biggies are be specific, be brief, be engaging, right? Make it fun. Focus on the performance, things that you want to make sure that they know how to do, and focus on the learner, right? So these are key elements. And the big thing is focus on adding value to the learner. One of the questions that she had asked was, thinking about the training that you provide, would you watch your own training, right? And there was some chuckles there, right? That we've created some bad training that we wouldn't even want to do, right? How can you do that better? She has a book out, What Works in Talent Development, Designing Microlearning, right? So if you're interested in microlearning, I think that's could be a good book to check out. So my backpack is getting full. I picked up a couple books. So I'm not sure if I'm going to add another one to it, but I may. So the third and last session that I went to was on coaches, trainers, and consultants win 3 times more clients with ease. This was by Angelique Rewars from Bold House. The way she talked was high speed, that she's working with really top clients, basically helping these small entrepreneur coaches and consultants be able to engage at a global and mid-market companies where they weren't necessarily working with small businesses, owner to owner, but you were really working with, executive teams and such. And that was probably the biggest difference is, how you framed the conversation, that you're really working at the C-suite, talking about, why, what they were doing, right? Not the hows and the whats, but really the why. Why it was important to invest in this particular type of training, right? And went through a lot of different challenges about, these small consulting companies, training companies going out and trying to get business, right? That, feast or famine, depending on referrals, which means, it's a lot harder to do business that way. Being ghosted, that, dead end opportunities, that you spend all this time building a proposal only to be shot down in the end, and it still takes you all this time. And, opportunities that just go nowhere, right? So, really focusing on the decision makers, right? They're in a tough spot, money is tight, and, how do you make it worth it? So, she asked us to basically put on 3 hats. One was engagement maker. And so you're constantly talking to these, these corporations, and these corporations are not necessarily ready to make a decision, and you've got to kind of help them along. And she focused on this idea of 7 hours, that you need to be working with them for 7 hours and be, kind of guiding them along, right? This could be through, business meetings. It could be through training, video. It could be through a lot of different things. And it was important to track this time to, kind of hit that 7 hour mark, which then usually they were ready to make a decision to do business. The other was to be the sense maker, right? To be the one that helps guide the decision, because there's a lot of paralysis in the buying process, that there's all kinds of options. There's a lot of people that are at the decision table making these decisions, and they're avoiding risk and just all kinds of stuff, and you've got to pierce through all this and make it easy to buy. And, convince them, is this a problem that needs to be solved? What are the solutions? Who can help with those particular solutions? The investment in terms of time and money, any issues that there are, how to avoid that risk, and, just get her done. And then a risk taker is really knowing what the risks are for all these, they come up with and have these concerns. And so how do you mitigate those, right? So you have to know the risks in terms of what you're doing there. So I think this was a session that was above where I'm at. But absolutely fascinating. This is an area that I can certainly use more education and skill at. So I enjoyed it. But it kind of reinforces this idea, at least from the chapter perspective, of doing an open house and, letting people know, what we do, and, part of that 7-hour conversation, right? So, yeah, good day. Excited for what's coming up. So right now, I am probably going to watch a short video, and then I'm going to start working on some blog posts and trip reports. So that's what I got going on for the evening, and get ready to do it again tomorrow. Tomorrow starts early, so, and then we have the expo, so I'm going to go explore that and see what's going on there. So thank you for joining me, and look forward to connecting with you soon. So once again, if you like it, mark it off, right? Feel free to share, feel free to comment, and let me know what else you want me to be exploring, and I'll be happy to do that. So bye for now.